Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This report is for March 26th through the end of the month to April 1st. And then in the second half of the program today, we're going to get into the entire month of April and talk about the astrology of the entire month. This last week of March is another sort of slower moving week. I had Eileen Locke on the show a couple of weeks ago. Thanks again to Eileen for coming onto the program. We'll do that one again soon. But she had brought into the cosmic community the concept of a breather day. And that is when there are no planetary aspects per se. There are only lunar aspects. And the moon makes different aspects a lot because the moon moves through a sign in 2.5 days, fastest moving entity in astrology. So this week we have one planetary aspect on March 28th. That's Venus in a sextile to Uranus. And other than that, the rest of the days of the week are pretty quiet. Lunar aspects, that means that we're going to be going through a lot of feelings. The moon represents our emotions, and that's why we can sometimes, have a change of heart pretty quickly as that moon moves from a sign into the next sign. Our focus changes, the themes that we're working with changes, and when it comes to our emotions and just how we're feeling about things. So the moon, very active as we enter the week. We are waning off of that extremely powerful first eclipse in this one of two eclipses that we are having here in the next couple weeks. April 8th is going to be the finishing eclipse to that. The answer back, the call. These eclipses work together. It's like Marco Polo, and there's no finishing touches until we come to that fruition and one has answered back the call to the other. So we are right now in the midst of the eclipse portal. Can you feel it? We are in the wormhole. We are in that state where, we've entered and we're not quite sure what the end is going to look like quite yet. We're in that transformative state in between during these eclipses. Eclipses are known as the cosmic course correctors. So this is a time to really go with the flow, as they might say. We might accept that these greater influences, have these impacts on us, and that, we kind of need to wait till the dust settles before knowing exactly how to move forward. So just know that we are all in this wormhole together. And so everyone, picking their way through, working through it, figuring out what this is going to be about. This is definitely about relationships because we are working with the aries-libra axis. And that is axis, AXIS. They're across from each other in the wheel of astrology. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, Libra the sixth. Aries represents the relationship with ourself. Libra represents the relationship with other people. So no matter what, we're faced with relationships and what is going on within these relationships during this eclipse cycle. So that is being felt very strongly because we just had that big full moon, and that was a partial eclipse. So if you were in the right area with good visibility to the sky, you could have actually seen the shadow, the moon, fall into the Earth's shadow and turn that blood red color. It's very beautiful. It was not a full eclipse this time around for La Luna, but felt all over, no matter whether or not you can see that, the energies are felt. And so here we are kind of in the aftermath of that. And another thing that Eileen said about breather days is that when we have breather days, it can take our focus back to the last thing that happened. And so this week, very much going to be sort of the aftermath, the come down from the first big full moon in this first of 2 eclipse cycles. We've just come into the astrological new year when the sun entered Aries on March 19th. And so here we are in the new year. We are in Aries season, which is all about starting new things. Aries is the cardinal fire sign and wants to initiate. Let's start something new. So I'm definitely feeling that pull to, try that new menu item at the restaurant that you always go to and get the same thing, try something new this time. Go on that different other trail that you've always wondered, I always go right here and I've always just wondered where it goes left. You're going to find yourself just walking off to the left and finding out where that trail goes because you're just craving something new, initiating something new. This week, that Venus sextile Uranus. This is an energy that is very smooth and very potent and is going to awaken our senses, as Venus is the most sensual of all planets and Uranus is the great awakener. So Venus sextile Uranus, this is like anything dealing with Uranus is like a popping energy. It's like fizzing and just waiting to explode out of that bottle. So when we have Uranus, we want to make sure not to like shake it up too much, like let it settle a little bit. There can be some like over amplified excitement and energy. Uranus is lightning strikes. This is the nervous system in general. We're going to be feeling those Venus bringing all the senses, all of our sensuality, into the forefront, and then Uranus being really strong. We're going to be feeling all of our senses all of a sudden. Could be quite surprising. We could be hearing, smelling, seeing things in new ways that we haven't seen during Aries season, and also with Uranus, the Great Awakener. Like I've just, you might find yourself saying, wow, I never thought about it that way, or I never saw it that way. It just never popped into my head like that. And now that I have this vision in my head, hot dog fingers, it won't go away. So we do definitely deal with like these explosions of things when we have Uranus in play. And Venus is also the planet that deals with our relationships. And so relationships, again, being brought out into the forefront this week with the aries-libra eclipse is happening right now, and Aries season, the sun bringing our focus here. So look at your own astrological birth chart, because there's no way of really knowing how this is going to be affecting you personally unless you can see your birth chart and look into that Aries area of your life and see which house that's in, see what planets or points are there. Is this squaring off to your sun? Is this opposing your moon? Where's this? Is this in the 3rd house, the 6th house? Where is this actually landing in regards to your life? That's where, having a little bit more knowledge given to you by an astrologer like Eileen Locke or somebody. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you have your own astrological blueprint that you were born with, that is a map to your soul and to your spirit and to your life. And so that is called your astrological birth chart. You can go on to this website I'm looking at right now, astro-seek.com, and download a free birth chart and see that. And then you go to Aries and you find, what's there. And then you can say, okay, I know how to sort of work with this and how this can be applying to me really well this week. So Venus right now is in the very sensual, empathetic, emotional sign of Pisces. She's very soft here. This is an exalted sign for her. She's very powerful here. Venus is in her full, finest form, and that is the goddess of love. Venus is the goddess of love, and she represents money. Also, she is financial flow. And so Venus and Uranus could bring up some surprise money this week. This could be like, it kind of just comes out of nowhere. You have an opportunity all of a sudden, boom, Uranus, the lightning strikes, and you have an opportunity now to make some more money, bring some more money in. A sextile is 2 signs apart. It's a very smooth, very easy moving. So this, whatever comes in is going to happen very easily. So yeah, it could be a heart awakener, Venus, our heart, being struck by lightning and opening up to a point that we never thought was possible. Our heart just like awakens. So very cool. It's whatever it is, it's very fast because Uranus is quick. And also we're in the eclipse portal. So we're already slingshotting from one part of the universe to another in this wormhole right now anyway. So whatever happens this week, it's going to be quick, and we are going to be working with it as we move into and through the eclipse portal and into that next new moon on April 8th. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting last couple weeks of March. It's been a little slower. We've had a lot more breather days, and the start to the astrological new year has been just really, really smooth, really nice. And then we enter April, and April is a busy month. April has a lot going on just in the tiny little area that it is. It's amazing. So April kicks off, basically from now on, we're going to have one planet stationing retrograde till the end of the year. So every month now we have our second Mercury retrograde going to be beginning on April 1st. So Mercury went into shadow about a week and a half ago. I mentioned that on the show a couple weeks ago, and I think last week too. And so we got the first glimpse of what the story was going to be about for this Mercury retrograde. Mercury stops at 27 degrees, 12 minutes of Aries, and is going to start in that backward motion, returning to themes in Aries, returning and grinding the way back through Aries. So Aries very much highlighted throughout the month of April also. So knowing what's there and peeping at, your own astrological birth chart is going to be helpful for this Mercury retrograde. Also, these are going to be themes that we are returning to. This Mercury retrograde takes place all within the month of April, and Mercury stations direct on, April 25th. So yeah, it's all packed into this 1 month. And Mercury retrograde is a time when we go back and our mind and we go back and review things and look at things in the past. We get messages from the underworld, and we'll be talking a lot more about this Mercury retrograde throughout the month of April. And then April 5th brings a sign change. We have the planet of Venus, which we just discussed, the sensual goddess of love. She moves out of Pisces, where she's exalted and she's been very comfortable and very beautiful. And she moves in to Aries, where she sort of changes into this really forward, outward Venus, where Pisces is like an inward energy and is a little more introverted and quiet. Aries is big and is now like, hey, I'm here and I'm being birthed, and it's like a baby coming out and screaming, and everyone knows that baby's been born. That's like Aries too. They come out screaming. You just know that they're there. And so Venus enters Aries on April 5th. And so she is going to be initiating new things within love, money, and relationships. And she actually moves through the entire sign of Aries in April also. So the Mercury retrograde happens within this month. Venus goes through the sign of Aries, which is where this Mercury retrograde is taking place, where the sun is. Lots of Aries energy in the 1st of April. And then we have our new moon in Aries. So we get all these blasts, all of these Aries messages, all the themes coming through. And then on April 8th, we have the capper, the solar eclipse that is going to be visible from the, from Texas in the United States and down through that southwest through Mexico also, and then up through New York and Maine. And so, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I got to see the last one back in October and it was incredible. We had it on this side of the United States. Now it's crisscrossing and going across the other side, and I love it. It seems so balanced. And that is the new moon in Aries, 19 to 20 degrees. And we are going to be fully well aware of what Aries season has been about for us. In fact, by April 8th, the solar eclipse, we're going to be so ready to kind of put to bed some of this Aries energy because it's big and it's a lot of new beginnings, which takes a ton of energy and just confidence and stepping out. And that is just energetically, you need to kind of step back and get more grounded. And that is what Taurus season is for. And the sun moves out of Aries on April 19th into Taurus. And we can start to become very grounded. We can fix our feet into the earth and start to decide which of those new beginnings is now the one, which one of those are going to be the ones that we apply our resources towards. Because Taurus is all about resources, our financial, our material resources, our financial resources, our even our earth resources, like our gardens and, what we can grow and how we can take care of ourselves and other people. And then this is great because from this grounded spot, we have probably the biggest event that's going to take place in all of 2024 in my mind. And this is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. This is going to be so powerful at 20 degrees of Taurus on April 21st. And Jupiter is a huge energy and provides opportunity and enthusiasm everywhere that it goes. Uranus, I already discussed in the beginning of the program, is that lightning strike. And so these are probably the two biggest energies other than the sun in our solar system coming together, and in the sign of Taurus going to be shaking things up. This is going to be shocking. This is going to be a little unstable, but it's going to be exciting, and there's going to be huge buzz around it. It could be fracturing. It could be scattered, kind of like an earthquake. And then afterwards you go, oh my God, what part of my house was torn apart and what part of my house is going to be the part that I build it all back around, right? So there's going to be a sort of waiting to see how that dust settles after that. But then we have our full moon in Taurus on April 23rd. And then Mercury stations direct at 16 degrees of Aries on April 25th, and 2 sign changes right as we leave the month. April 29th, Venus enters into Taurus and Mars enters into Aries on April 30th. So it is an action-packed April, and I will definitely be here in the cosmic community working us through it. I just hope that this program was helpful for you. You're able to glean something out of that. If you need to get a hold of me, you can do so at thecosmiccommunity@kpov.org. Send me an email. Let me know how things are going for you. I know I have a couple of other emails to get to in that email also. So anyways, thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome week, and peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.